Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robin Yasinski. How many of you can actually remember the days when you could only communicate via the dial phone or through letters, or when you actually had to write checks and present them to humans to get cash at the bank, or had to go to the library to literally do all of your research? Most of us can't imagine life without cell phones, email, or the internet, because we rely on these things every day to make our lives easier. Besides being an avid user of cell phones, I've researched the dangers that driving can do while talking on a cell phone. Today I'm here to convince you the importance of the avoidance of the use of handheld cell phones while driving. At the beginning of 2009, 1 million U.S. drovers drove while talking on handheld cell phones. A 2008 survey taken by Nationwide Insurance concluded that 67% of all the received accident claims were related to cell phone use while driving. Other statistics state that 25% of all automobile accidents are caused by cell phone use while driving. Results have also shown that drivers who are emotionally charged up on the cell phone while driving increase their traveling speed, have reduced reaction speed, and reduced steering wheel movements, which makes them swerve into other people's lanes and cause accidents. Many accidents are also caused by drivers dropping their cell phones and losing control of the vehicle by trying to reach down and get the cell phone. Results have also shown that drivers talking on the cell phone look but often fail to see what's around them. Drivers will look directly at objects around them but are less likely to remember what they've seen when they're talking on the phone. They also are more likely to miss traffic signals and often fail to see signs and exit ramps. Driver reaction to vehicles braking in front of them can be impaired. The available statistics on death caused by cell phones are astounding. In 2008, 6,000 Americans died after cell phone-linked accidents. I have titled my discussions with you, 11 Important Reasons to Ban Cell Phone Use While Driving. I focused on my attention on 11 different avoidable accidents that ended up in the loss of innocent lives. Their pictures and stories are displayed behind me. The first being Morgan, age 3 years old, was killed by a driver who ran a stop sign while talking on his cell phone. She died because her car was broadsided by that driver. Ryan, 2 years old, was killed in a car he was riding in with his mother when it was struck by a teenage driver. She was talking on her cell phone at the time, according to authorities. Demetrius, age 5 years old, was killed when he was hit by a driver that had reached down to pick up his cell phone that had fallen to the floor of the car, and he lost control of the car. He was getting off a school bus, and he had gotten hit by the car from the school bus. He was just going into kindergarten. Kathy and Kimberly, age 17, were in a vehicle stopped at a railroad crossing when a 23-year-old teen driver was on her cell phone, and she smashed into their vehicle without ever putting on the brakes, not paying attention. She was on a conversation at the time and wasn't paying any attention, and they slammed right into the passing train. Another example is Karen Cordell. She was hit by a 16-year-old driver who had reached down to pick up his cell phone. His vehicle drafted across the center lane and killed her and her unborn baby. She was 8 months pregnant. Jordan Sibley. He was driving home from Foxborough talking to his father on his cell phone. His Hyundai crossed over the center line and he smashed into a tree. Lastly, Matt Wilhelm, age 25, was cycling near Illinois when he was struck and killed by a driver that was downloading ringtones to her cell phone. All these deaths could have been avoided. Unfortunately, many people don't change their lifestyles or take a stance on something until it happens to them or one of their loved ones. If you need to use your cell phone while driving, then at least get a hands-free device. I've seen earpieces on the internet. They're called Bluetooth handsets for as little as $9.99. I purchased an inexpensive stereo for my vehicle that has a Bluetooth connection that amplifies my calls through my stereo speakers. Due to the increased number of accidents due to cell phone use while driving, individual states have been lobbied for a cell phone handheld ban. The following states are the only states that have a handheld ban: California, Connecticut, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, New York, Oregon, and Washington. Celebrities have gotten involved in taking a stance on handheld cell phones or no cell phone use while driving. One was Oprah Winfrey. On Friday, April 30th, Oprah Winfrey created the first National No Phone Zone Day. This was created for people to take a stance, sign a pledge, and possibly save a life. Oprah Winfrey's campaign about the no phone zone carried 3 simple options. I will not text while I am driving, is the first. Second, I will not use the phone at all while driving. That's the second one. And third, I will not text while driving and will use the hands-free option of calling if I need to use my cell phone, if it's mandatory, if it's necessary. Around half a million people, including several celebrities, had said yes to Oprah when her call of need. Safety campaigns including Elton John and Betty White were also included. Oprah's help with the use of cell phones while driving will be strictly prohibited soon. And she has the biggest hope about this. Her no phone campaign would like to become mandatory. Oprah's no phone campaign is equally backed by NHTSA and Focus Driven. Focus Driven is an organization it's an advocacy group for victims of motor vehicle crashes involving the drivers using cell phones. Their mission is to support victims of cell phone distracted driving and family of victims and increase public awareness of the dangers of cell phone distracted driving by putting a human face on the disastrous impact of this behavior. They also want to promote corresponding public policies, program, and personal responsibility. The government has created, the U.S. Department of Transportation, a website called distraction.gov, and they have a campaign called Put It Down Strategy. The strategy is supposed to educate everyone about distracted drivers and the accident and the deaths that it can occur. Now that I have presented to you the importance of not driving while using a handheld cell phone, you need to take action now. Everyone needs to take a stance. How do you start? You can start by signing and following Oprah's pledge if you'd like. You can contact your local senators. You can email family and friends to get involved also. Most importantly, don't drive with a handheld cell phone. Save a life now.